Hey, this is Chillie from Chillie's Cruises. Welcome to Port Canaveral, Florida, #1 excursion. The best excursion in Port Canaveral, Florida is the Kennedy Space Center. The reason I chose Port Canaveral, Florida's #1 excursion to be Kennedy Space Center goes back to when I was a kid. Remember, I grew up with my heroes being cowboys, whether it was Gene Autry or Roy Rogers or Paladin or the Cartwrights or Mr. Dillon. And that was quickly replaced by the Mercury 7 astronauts with Scott Carpenter and Gordon Cooper and John Glenn, Wally Schirra, Alan Shepard, Deke Slayton, Gus Grissom. Those became our heroes, and they taught us to dream and dream big, and that our dreams could be fulfilled if we worked hard. And that was one of the lessons that came out of the space program. And we grew up believing in those impossible dreams and trying our best to fulfill our dreams in life. And that went right on through to my college years when we had the moon landing. You just didn't miss any of that. So the Space Center was a part of our being, at least in my age group growing up. And it followed me through life. I'm like many of you that went to Smithsonian Institute in Washington. All the things you could see at the Smithsonian. Where do I go? To the space displays. That was what I found the most fascinating. So that's the basis for choosing Kennedy Space Center. The first time I had a free day before a cruise in Port Canaveral, that's exactly where I went. You can experience the greatest space adventures on Earth at NASA's Kennedy Space Center. You can choose from several tour options. You can walk under the largest rocket ever flown, take a virtual moonwalk, spend hours exploring the NASA world-class facility, the launch pads, the rocket exhibits like Saturn V. You have a chance to participate in the simulated Shuttle Launch Experience, see stellar IMAX films, and get a first-hand space stories at Astronaut Encounter. You can meet a veteran NASA astronaut, stand nose to nose with Space Shuttle Atlantis, and try the thrilling Shuttle Launch Experience. Explore all the fascinating interactive exhibits and check out an awe-inspiring 3D film. There's so much to do, and matter of fact, you can't hardly do it all in one day. So Port Canaveral is unique in that it's for cruises. It serves as not only a point of embarkation and debarkation, but it also cruises from up north, from Boston and New York and Bayonne and Baltimore, stop in Port Canaveral as a port of call. So whether you are going into Port Canaveral to start a cruise and come down a day or two early, or perhaps stay a day or two after a cruise, or you're on a cruise that stops at Port Canaveral, there are tours available either from the ships. They have plenty of excursions from every cruise ship, or a great vendor like Viator, who's my personal favorite. They have tours, a number of different tours to choose from. You can also get them from the airport in Orlando. It takes you straight to Kennedy Space Center, or from some of the hotels in Orlando. So there's numerous ways to pick up one of the tours. But one thing that's for sure, before, after, or during a cruise in Port Canaveral, you need to make time to go to the Kennedy Space Center. Let's take a quick pause for a word from one of our sponsoring partners. Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scootaround. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scoot around for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise. Remember, you can always get the link to Scoot Around in the description of this video, as well as links to lots of other things. I hope you've enjoyed Port Canaveral, Florida's #1 excursion, the Kennedy Space Center, and hopefully we'll see you there real soon. I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.